All right, CNT125, Chapter 10. Our next category of equipment is your IDSs, IPSs, your intrusion detection systems, your intrusion prevention systems. Let's take a look at IDS, intrusion detection system. This is really here is kind of like a detector of odd network traffic that generates alerts about this traffic, saying, hey, this looks like somebody's trying to, I don't know, do a denial of service or something. You might want to check this out. This can be actually a separate device or could be an embedded feature in something like our unified threat management system or next generation firewall. So this might actually be a separate unit or might be incorporated with something else. They remind us here, and this is a good reminder, that your router ACL or your firewall acts like a bouncer at the door of a club. It's checking IDs, going, hey, do you belong here? Meanwhile, your IDS is similar to security personnel sitting in a closet somewhere, looking at security cameras, going, "Hey, is there anything suspicious going on in here? Everything looks okay? Oh, that guy's something sticking in his pocket. That looks suspicious. Looks like he might be stealing something." Okay, and they're there to basically watch that and alert security personnel that this looks odd. Please check this out. This looks odd. That's your IDS. That is your IDS. So here is a example. Your router firewall here blocking traffic coming and going. Your IDS is sitting here kind of looking at traffic going on the network, going, okay, looks all right, looks all right, looks all right. And if something odd comes on, recognize that and may be alarming. Two primary methods for detecting threats on a network is statistical anomaly or signature-based detection. Statistical anomaly is, hey, you normally know how things look in the network, traffic-wise. All of a sudden you have an anomaly. Way too much data moving around, way too much ICMP traffic, way too much, and anything out of the ordinary would be like, hey, what's going on? This looks odd. This should not be occurring at 2 in the morning. That might be an alert of a particular type of denial of service or something. Signature-based detection looks for patterns. If somebody's doing a denial of service, it looks a certain way. So that traffic would be looking for it, saying, hey, this looks like this might be a denial of service, blah. And this is almost like recognizing, almost like recognizing a shape. I see that looks like a square. Here you're like, I see this traffic. This looks like this is probably a denial of service. And those signatures need to be updated on the system so it knows what kind of things to be looking for. Two different ways the IDS can look for anomalies in the system. IDS can be in two different forms, if you will, host-based or network-based. With a host-based, this actually runs on a single computer. So a single computer is going to be doing this. Hey, it looks like somebody's trying to, overwhelm you with traffic. What's going on? And it's looking for those anomalies. Meanwhile, a network-based, again, it's either an appliance or built into something, detecting for this suspicious traffic. Again, like a denial of service type of traffic. And what typically gets done with this is port mirroring gets used. On a switch, normally traffic moving into a switch comes into the traffic comes into a switch port. The switch looks at, hey, where does this go, and passes that out a single port. Well, what I want to do is anything moving through this switch, I want to have copied to the IDS so it can be looking at, is this normal traffic? So what gets used is port mirroring. Any traffic moving through the switch, you mirror it to a specific port that your IDS is attached to. And I think I have this on the next picture here, yeah. So what you would do is on the switch say, hey, port mirror, anything moving through the switch to blah port 22 or whatever it happens to be that the IDS is attached to. So not only traffic moving through the switch, gets copied over to the port that the IDS is on, so now it can kind of keep an eye on everything and look for odd traffic. One of the drawbacks to an IDS is the number of false positives. There's a lot of times it's like, hey, this looks suspicious, and it's really not. It was people uploading large files before the day was over. Hey, this looks suspicious. No, there's a lot of people uploading files at the end of the month before, because their accounts are due. Okay, so it's going to take some customization and updating to keep this from driving you crazy with all maybe these false alarms. But it's there part of a larger system on trying to recognize these threats before they become a bigger problem. This can be an actual hardware device too. Here's a Cisco and a Juniper device that are actually IDSs that can be attached to the network. Just giving you examples of the real deal out there. And these can also be software things. I have here two different examples here. This is a Suricata, I guess that's how you pronounce it, and then Snort over here running. So you have an example of two different ideas, two different examples of IDSs. Meanwhile, IPS's intrusion prevention system, these are designed to kind of like, all right, I see it happening. I'm going to try to stop it from continuing to happen. This is going to stand in line with the traffic right here, see it coming and going, and I'm actually going to try to respond to and try to stop it if I can help it, if I can catch it in time. So again, my router access list is like a bouncer at the door of a nightclub. My IDS is guys sitting in a closet watching the security cameras. Your IPS is your security personnel wandering around the club, listening on a little earpiece to the guys in the closet. And when the guys in the closet say, this looks suspicious, your security guard walks over to somebody saying, hey, it looks like you put something in your pocket. It looks like you're trying to steal something from us. Can you come over here? I have some questions for you, or we'd like you to leave. You don't belong here. So your IPS is the one actually responding to and trying to deal with and stop said suspicious traffic. Okay? These were actually designed to be a more comprehensive traffic analysis and protection than a firewall, because a firewall is just kind of the bouncer at the door. But firewalls have evolved that sometimes firewalls even have IPSs built into them as well. IPS stands in line of the traffic and can try to stop that suspicious traffic. So if the IPS detects a flood of network traffic, it might say, you know what, I'm going to deny this IP anymore until I see what's going on. Might actually quarantine that user. But meanwhile, it's trying to still allow the regular traffic through. So it can actually try to respond to this and try to prevent this in real time instead of, you're not there at 2 in the morning, you can't deal with it. It's actually trying to do it for you. You can have a network-based or a host-based IPS. Network-based would be out here, out here where the hosts are. Network is in line. Network is in line with traffic that's moving. And here is actually some hardware, Cisco and Juniper IPS devices. Now, a lot of times what you might notice is an IDS-IPS combination, but these are actual IPS devices that can be put in place. And here's some software examples of different IPSs. Some software actually has endpoint detection and prevention built into it. Other ones are another software program that you turn on. This even says it's host IPS. One last topic on all this is your security information and event management. If you start thinking about your access list, your IDS, your IPS, your firewalls, proxy servers, generating all of this traffic and alerts and alarms, sometimes in a large system, that's too much data to try to deal with. So you actually implement a security information event management system to pull it all together so that I can start looking for trends and or combinations between. So when these alerts come in, I can start looking at them more in a big picture view. And I might actually use something like these guys here, Alien Vault or IBM Security, SolarWinds Event Log and Manager, etc., to gather all this stuff for me so that I can start seeing, okay, this generated this. This looks like this is a real problem. How can we tune this to stop this from occurring anymore? And here's SolarWinds example, and here's Splunk example. You're just getting the idea that this is pulling it all together, hopefully in one spot for you, so we can start building some trends, noticing some trends, and maybe adjusting and tweaking things to help with certain types of problems, certain types of traffic moving through our network. Alrighty, we're going to come back in the next topic and talk about some switch management that we would be doing.